Here at Microsoft, instead of games, we have what gamers really want. Controllers! Yes, gamers, due to our dwindling fan base and market share, we've been forced to release special edition controllers with any third-party license we can get our hands on. And yes, you will buy it because it says special edition. We've even got one for that game that will be dead in a week, Sea of Thieves. Yes, people, special edition controllers. We know you love them. Xbox One. Fuck games, we've got controllers. What's good, YouTube? It's your host Axel Rose, the Shogun with the slogan, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. Now I know it's taken a little bit of a while for me to finally get to tackling XO18, but it's about that time, people, and I'm not gonna lie, it was quite a good event and okay, I'm lying. It was disappointing. It was more disappointing than I said it would be, and it's time for us to get to all the great stuff. Let's go. But wait, we now take time out of this video to introduce you and sell you Game Pass, the new innovative feature that allows Microsoft to charge you for 2 subscriptions on the same Xbox instead of 1. Do you like middling to old games that could have came out at the beginning of the gen? Oh yes, Game Pass is for you. Do you like Metacritic pad exclusives with Metacritics of very low 80s and 60s and whatnot? Game Pass is for you. Yes, exclusive from Microsoft. Oh, by the way, back to the video. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but there was a very heavy emphasis on promoting and selling Game Pass throughout the conference. And you know what? Being that Microsoft are definitely trying to maximize the most profit and money from all existing Xbox customers as possible, and we can see that with all the special edition controllers, consoles, and all the other doohickeys they're releasing, it's not so far-fetched that they'd want to get Game Pass in people's homes. But it just seems a little bit worrying that at an event where they had the chance to showcase all the new games that they missed at E3, stuff like Battletoads, stuff like seeing more Gears of War, which I'm surprised that the hype is so low for at the moment. It just seemed like to push Game Pass in front of all these games that people are hankering to see, it was kind of a misfire. So let's get on to what they showed. Now, even though this isn't that gaming related, we gotta talk about that crowd. Yeah, we gotta talk about that fake hype that Microsoft feel that they gotta bring to every press conference. Now, it hasn't been this bad since the beginning of the generation when they first showed the Xbox One. Remember that when it was like, hey, have you guys heard of toilet paper? And the crowd was like, oh my god, toilet paper! Like, yo, Microsoft, please stop. I feel like hype is good. Do you know what I'm saying? Hype is always great, but I feel like this fake hype is just really insulting to people with brains. And I know you guys have people like, you know, Kid Smooth and Crap Gamer who like your product, and maybe they get, you know, turned on by the fake hype, but please, some of us finished kindergarten, okay? And we can pretty much tell. I mean, like, you guys would just be like, hey, we've got water outside. Oh my god, fake hype. It's just too much, Microsoft. Come on, too much. Now, contrary to popular belief, I actually want to be really positive about this event and the information that Microsoft managed to convey. It's just that a lot of it we'd even known before or was pretty misdirected. For instance, Rare took the time out to tell us about their update to Sea of Thieves, which, to be honest, after all the complaints, is very much appreciated. But we already have shows come throughout the year, like Inside Xbox, or their own weekly to bi-monthly podcasts they do to just update people on what's going on. So for a speciality show like this information was a little bit lackluster, especially since the community has kind of already spoken on how they feel about Sea of Thieves. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they're actually looking to add more content to this game is very good and something that we can't really sneeze at. But at the same time, we've pretty much already voted on this game and we voted it off the island. Now, Forza Horizon 4 is always great to see. Great game. Set where I come from, the UK, in the house, yep. But come on, we got Inside Xbox for that. We want to see new stuff. Where your new goods at, Microsoft? Come on. Like, we have Battletoads that we still haven't seen anything from. We still have games like Gears of War, Halo Infinite, which we still don't know anything about. Please don't tell us you're just waiting till E3 next year to show us a couple of trailers and expect us to lay money down. Now, maybe this is the difference between Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft, because as we've seen, we saw a lot of Spider-Man and a lot of God of War, and we're starting to see a lot of Days Gone and Ghost of Tsushima before they've been released. And in the case of Spider-Man and God of War, it definitely paid off very well sales-wise. And Microsoft couldn't hurt to, do the same thing. And as for Nintendo, we all know how long we saw Breath of the Wild for. I mean, come on, that game was a Wii U game before it came to the Switch. So maybe just doing that extra bit more to actually advertise these games and get them into the social conscience of the gamer would go a long further way. Now, talking of games that we've been seeing for a long time, Crackdown 3. We finally saw some visual evidence of the multiplayer. And even though it looks like they've scaled it down from what they initially, proposed, this grandiose, huge scale, just big experience, I'm not too disappointed because I didn't expect much. Crackdown has never been a graphically impressive game. So seeing that they got this up and running, I guess is cool, but it's nothing to write home about. We already knew about it. So as far as for Xbox exclusive things, everything came together to be quite underwhelming. Not necessarily because the products were bad, but mainly because we'd seen them all before. If you guys understand my drift. Hey kids, did you say drift? Well, drift on by to Microsoft and their Game Pass booth, where we have everything, I mean everything, except exclusive games that you want and need if you're a console gamer. Do you want a game that came out 4 years ago? Yep, we got that. Do you want a game that's been poorly reviewed on Metacritic? We got that too. Microsoft Game Pass in your beep. Oh, we're not allowed to say that? Now, to be honest, I'm very disappointed and surprised at the amount of filler Microsoft had on the stage. I expected to see some multi-platform games, but not this many. I mean, we even saw NBA Playgrounds twice. That is disgusting. Now, multi-platforms definitely do have their place at these events, but most of these games we'd seen before, if not all of them. There was nothing new. We already knew that Devil May Cry was coming. We already know that Kingdom Hearts was coming. We already knew about Minecraft. And I'm pretty sure we expected a Just Cause 4 at some point in time. So showing these games did really nothing to excite people about Xbox at all. And Minecraft, yeah. Now, I definitely do respect Microsoft a little bit for taking time out to address the whole JRPG situation and get more of those games on the Xbox. But it just seems like a little bit of a futile attempt once we know that those games always perform better on PlayStation and Nintendo systems simply because that's where the main fan base for those games are. But I do commend Microsoft for doing what they need to do and getting that Japanese effort going. The same thing with bolstering their studios. I like the fact that they took time out to show a little bit of what everybody's working on, but showing more, something tangible of what people is working on would have definitely been something more excited for people to tune in and see. Seeing that Ninja Theory is there is great, but we gotta see what they're working on. And talking of Ninja Theory, one thing is very interesting. Microsoft talked a lot about other platforms where they're releasing their games, but they didn't specify. They just said other platforms. And we know from this conference that Hellblade is getting a physical release and it's also coming to PlayStation. Now, if this was before Ninja Theory was under Microsoft rule, it wouldn't be so much of a big deal. But this is once, Microsoft owned Ninja Theory. So effectively, Microsoft are now putting out a game on PlayStation. And if this does well, what could it mean for the future of other game titles? Could we see Microsoft, expand the Xbox ecosystem to rival consoles? We've seen them kind of do that with the Switch, and they're doing that with their other competitors like Apple's putting their stuff on a iPad and whatnot. This is just a very interesting time for Microsoft. And the fact that they're not showing too much that's actually new to actually, or showing too much of things that would push a games console, especially says they said that the X has a lot of life left in it. It's just all very worrying. So yeah, this conference, even though it was very disappointing from a straight up games and surprises, you know, from a megaton point of view, it was very interesting from a futuristic point of view. You can definitely see where Microsoft are putting their focus, and it seems to be in a lot more things concerning other platforms. Now, it will be very interesting to see where this will go. Will we get more PlayStation and Nintendo titles from Microsoft Xbox? Now, as far as them being a bottom line focused company, we know they're all about the profit. Will we see Microsoft go third party? And to be honest, right now it seems that one of the best things they can do, since they already know that their market share for consoles is very small, hence them releasing all these, special editions and Game Pass. The reason why that thing is being promoted so heavily is that they know that they've already got a small fan base, but if they can make more money off that fan base on a more regular basis, they will be able to sustain themselves. And I reckon that's what Microsoft's thing is going to be going forward. More subscription based models and more playing nicely with their competition, which isn't so bad on paper for consumers, but for die-hard Xbox fans, this ain't that good. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they're only really acquiring indie developers definitely shows the level of quality their exclusives are gonna have going forward. And that's not gonna be the level of quality they're gonna need going at experienced developers like who Sony and Nintendo have. Because right now, Sony and Nintendo's games are leading the industry, always game of the year contenders without fail. And Microsoft hasn't had a true bona fide game of the year contender to themselves since the last generation. So this is really interesting. And I want to know what you guys think about the show and stuff. I think it was really lackluster. I'm really upset that we didn't see anything that the new studios were working on, even stuff that's supposed to be announced for next year. Like Battletoads was at least, they really need to be doing some stuff with that franchise, whether it's spinning it off into a cartoon as well to make sure there's more hype, or just showing us what's there. Things like Crackdown as well. Having Terry Crews there is awesome, but it looks like they're just looking to sell the game on his celebrity, and it looks like what we are gonna get is gonna be very mediocre. But hey, at least they managed to get some kind of destructibility in the multiplayer, even though it looks like little ants running around with pea shooters, breaking up Lego sticks and stuff. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But yes, people, let me know what you think about this. Shout outs to Larry Caldwell, Jamal King, Barrel Bob, everybody that's holding the channel down, leaving them likes and stuff like that. Wolflow, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yeah, holler at your boy. Jeez, this was terrible. This was terrible. Microsoft, you gotta come better. All right. Peace.